Am I in the studio? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Well, good.
Welcome to another edition of the Mangia Cast. Bob Papa with Chris Bizignano. Biz, how are you tonight?
Good, my man. How you doing?
All right, I'm having problems here in Biz. So let's make sure that everything is in order here. We got some technical difficulties here from Birmingham, Biz.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We got the schedule is out. I can't hear you. So, Biz, chin chin. We got a lot going on here this evening with the schedule. We're going to take people to our favorite restaurant, but I'm going to jump off here for a second. So you're going to talk about the schedule, and I have to relog in because I can't hear you for some reason.
Okay, you do that. So the NFL schedule is out. And I tell you what, man, the NFL, the way they create drama, it's second to none. What's amazing, when Bob gets back in here, we'll elaborate some more. What's amazing is that everybody knows the schedule. Everybody knows who's playing who, and all you have to find out is the dates and times and all that. And it's still such a heavily watched show. That's how big the NFL is. That people are sitting there and they can't wait till the schedule release. And you can't, it's not like you know what? I'll just wait till the next day. And we got Papa back. I believe, Bob, you hearing me?
I got you now.
Okay, brother. So I was just talking about, Bob, about how big the NFL schedule release is with something that we all know, right? Your favorite team, who they're playing. That's just a matter of the dates and the times. But here we are, and it's a huge ratings for the NFL just to see what time your team is playing and the dates they're playing. That's how big this league is. I find it amazing because, Bob, we know, as soon as the last game of the season and everybody wraps up the regular season, we know back in January, for instance, our Giants, who they're playing, what division, all that needs to be settled at the end of the year is who they finish in when they finish last, whoever finishes last in the rest of the divisions in the NFC, and then the other one team in the AFC who they wind up playing. But it's amazing, isn't it, Bob? It's a huge event for something that you kind of know what's coming. That's how big this league is.
Well, yeah, and I mean, just the fact that you got the Cowboys going against the Eagles to kick off the season, in that kickoff game.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty wild unto itself. And then,
Absolutely.
Kansas City, they're going to play 8 billion primetime games. They're going to be in Brazil. I mean, look at that Thanksgiving lineup. How could you not love the Thanksgiving lineup? Right?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the best I've seen in years.
I mean, the fact that you got the Chiefs who, will sometimes play on Thanksgiving night, the fact that you got the Chiefs in Dallas. And how about the first Sunday night game of the year?
Yeah. Yeah. Even the Monday night game. How intriguing is this Monday night game, right? Probably the debut of J.J. McCarthy. You got Caleb, year 2. I mean, look, the NFL gets it right, man. They really do. It's just amazing. And even, a 1:00 game on a Sunday, Pop. And you got Aaron Rodgers, who we kind of expect to be reporting here pretty soon in Pittsburgh. And who do they play week 1?
Jets Jets.
The Jets Jets. Aaron, who's pissed off at the Jets. He can't stand them. We know the way he left there. And here we are, 1:00 Sunday afternoon. Aaron Rodgers against the team he now despises, as we all know. I mean, the NFL does an incredible job just with the drama, Pop. I can't. What can I say, man? It's incredible what they do.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about the matchups and the rivalry games, and They got a lot. They have a lot of like division games early this year, which a lot of times they want to save it all for the back end. But like you look at the Giants, right, playing the Eagles. The Giants will be done with the Eagles before Halloween.
Yeah. NFC East squares off week 1. Dallas and Philly, Giants and Washington. By the way, my man, I'm drinking a little root stock tonight.
Oh, nice.
Suggested by our last guest, Aaron Sagendorf from Smith & Walensky. And by the way, excellent choice by Aaron. I've been drinking at dinner. I'm having it now. I know you're on the road, Pop. I know. But excellent choice by the Smith & Walensky wine guy, Mr. Aaron Sagendorf.
You have to send me that list. You have the whole list of all the ones you pointed out?
Yeah,
I need that list.
You don't have to. No, I'm not going to give it to you now. I'm just making sure I got it.
Now, I took you on a journey this week, too. We went and we cooked a little bit at one of my favorite places, Da Bonito's in Union, New Jersey. And Bonito, his son Donnie, his daughter, they couldn't have been nicer. And we had a chance to go in the kitchen and see how stuff is made. But what we're going to do during the course of this show and over the next couple of weeks, because just like Mr. Sagendorf has become our official sommelier of the Mangia cast, Bonito is the chef emeritus for our show.
Oh, God. Pop, I can't even explain how good this place was. I mean, Bob has been going there for 30 years.
25
years. This was my first time going. And first off, like you said, Bob, Bonito, just a great guy, man. In the kitchen, I found it amazing watching him, Bob. Amazing watching him go to work.
And his staff. And his staff.
His son, great. His staff in the back, working with Bonito, incredible. His daughter, very nice woman. And I tell you, man, that food was insane.
What was one of the things we talked about after touring the kitchen? How clean it was. It's unbelievable. They're serving the dinner crowd, and things are getting washed so fast. I couldn't get over how clean. And then how about the pasta that we had? We'll show that on another episode, the pappardelle, but that's fresh pasta that his guy Cheech makes there every day. He goes, and you could see the care that they put into everything.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, go ahead.
No, we're going to teach everybody how to make this easy zucchini appetizer that anybody can make at home. And then we're going to show you Bonito's trick as to why his gnocchi are not heavy. Because most of the time when you eat gnocchi, which is mostly made out of potato, you can make it with ricotta cheese, but it can be heavy. And he told us one of the secrets about minimizing the amount of flour that you use. But he shows us the technique. And you got a chance to roll a few.
Huh? I rolled a few. As a matter of fact, Pop, I brought some home. As you know, Bonito gave me a nice trays to bring home. And I showed the wife, hey, I made this. Let's go. And then she yelled at me saying, are you going to cook now? And I was like, well, I don't know about that yet. But I'm getting it. But Bob, I got to ask you because you are the master chef. I mean, everybody's
of this show anyway.
Of this show, but everybody's seen what you could do. Did you pick up a few things?
I always learn something.
Tuesday night? I mean,
yeah, well, we're going to show the gnocchi recipe. And if you go on like Instagram and you watch all these chefs make gnocchi, they all tell you it was something completely different than what Bonito does. And even what we're going to learn when we show our audience how to make the zucchini appetizer, which once you eat it, you'll die for. But the mixture in the olive oil, only 25% olive oil, 75% vegetable or canola for those specific frying conditions, including the veal dish that we made that we'll show another night as well. We made a couple of veal dishes that were off the chart. What about Bob, Derek?
It reminded me of like 30 years ago. What am I, 58 now? Maybe even 35 years ago. Where it was just me, you, and him. The place was closed, basically. and we were just sitting around at a table after the place closes down, eating and drinking. Bob, it gave me flashbacks of Brooklyn, Stamp 35. It was great. I want to thank you again for bringing me there, and we're doing this show there. But just first time I've been there, I've been telling everybody about it. But it was just great night, buddy. And it just brought back a lot of memories for me. Just sitting there, me, you, Bonito, his son, talking, bullshitting, football, eating food. It was just a great time, man.
Yeah, you know what? While we're talking about the schedules, you know what? Let's give Benito's son Donnie a little prop here, okay? Because he's a big Dolphins fan, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about this Dolphins schedule. I mean, we know that they have the international game, which I think is going to be unbelievable in Madrid. To think that you're going to get Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders and the Miami Dolphins playing in Madrid. Miami has a big brand. Right. It'll be interesting to see, right? I mean, about this Dolphins team, because I can't really get a feel for Miami. Can you?
No, I don't. And you know what, Bob? It just seems like they're one play away with Tua from this season ending. What I mean by that, obviously, is with the concussion history that he has. It just seems like every game, if you're a Dolphin fan, like Benito's son is, the next hit, your season's over. You know what I mean? And now, let's not forget, too, Bob, you look at this Miami team. They were looking to move Tyreek, right? That seems there was a lot of rumors, a lot of talk about maybe trading him. How much did they improve their defense? But it's a good team. And I see Mike McDaniel today. I'm reading on X about how Mike McDaniel's kind of like tightening the ship up a little bit. He wants with the meetings. So there's a lot of reports coming out of there, South Florida, Bob, about guys late for meetings. A little bit of a lackadaisical approach there by Mike in South Florida. And he seems to have adjusted to that when you read from their beat reporters today. So it's a tough team to get. I agree with it. Look, Buffalo's the class of the division and all that. But Miami, you look at them and say, hey, this could be a 10-win team, 11-win team. And then at the same time, you look at them pop and you're like, well, they could be a 6-win team too.
Well, listen, I mean, they don't have a murderer's row schedule to get going, right? They open at Indianapolis. You know, we don't even know who the quarterback for the Colts will be. Probably will be Daniel Jones. I'm assuming he'll win that job. But it's not as if the Colts are one of the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Then at home in week 2, they have New England. Again, Vrabel, year 2 for Drake May. New England spent a lot of money, but it feels like a weight class game.
Right.
Then they got to go to Buffalo on a short week Thursday night. Mm-hmm. Now, Buffalo is one of the premier teams in the league. Then they're going to come off a mini bye and return home with an extra day of rest to play the Jets on Monday Night Football. And then they go to Carolina to play the Panthers.
Yeah.
And then they host the Chargers. And, then they play the Cleveland Browns.
And they got Cleveland and Atlanta.
And then at Atlanta. Then it's Baltimore, it's Buffalo, it's Washington. There's the meat of their schedule. But they have a chance, Miami, to get off to a decent start.
Oh, absolutely. They should get off to a decent start. They should. So you look at them and how you feel about them. Like I said, you can't really get a finger on them, but you look at the schedule and say, hey, they could get out to a 4-5-1 type start. But I just look at them pop, and like I said, it just feels like every time Tua is on the field, they're one play away from the season being finished. How do you feel about Tua? Do you like Tua as a quarterback?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Tua. I mean, he's great on timing. He's great in rhythm. I think his decision-making as far as not running with the ball, which was a weapon that he brought to the table. Mm-hmm. He's being careful. He's trying to be more careful. and I think that's taken away from his game a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I got him in that second tier of quarterbacks, probably. That I don't, maybe in the bottom half of that second tier of quarterbacks. Do you find it interesting? I hate to be jumping all over the map on you here. Do you find it interesting that you mentioned the Jets are going to be at home to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we think that Aaron Rodgers eventually is going to become a Pittsburgh Steeler? He's dealing with personal issues. We don't know what that is. Pittsburgh does know what's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find it odd that they put the Giants and Jets opposite each other in week 1?
Pop, not anymore, because we've seen the Giants and Jets play at the same times the last, I guess, 3 years now, 3-4 years tops. That was something that we never saw, right, Bob? Years ago. It was always 1 o'clock, 4:30, 4:15, whatever the time. Now, it's a common. They did it the last few years. Now, am I a little surprised at the first game of the season? Yes, I am a little surprised at that, but not that surprised anymore that the Giants and Jets are playing at the same time. This is what you've seen the last 3 years.
And I will say this, right? If you're a Jet fan, are you really watching the Giants at Commanders if they were on earlier? If you were going to the game later in the day?
No.
You're not really watching it. So, although I do think if Aaron Rodgers was playing the Jets and a Giant fan was at home knowing that the Giants are playing Washington later that day, I think you're going to watch some of that.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I understand the teams have been bad, for the better part of the last 10 years. The Jets have the longest non-playoff drought in the NFL. But I thought in week 1, Jaden Daniels, Giants, Washington, and with the chance of Aaron Rodgers playing the Jets at MetLife Stadium, that they would have split the week 1 game at this point.
Oh, I agree. But I'm just, you asked if I was surprised by it. No, I'm not anymore.
I was surprised I was surprised for week 1.
Anything else in the schedule surprise you?
Not really. I mean, people want to talk about strength of schedule and all that other stuff, and we all know that what's put on paper now, it's not necessarily who you play, it's when you play them. I mean, there will be injuries. Every year we talk about teams that make the playoffs that didn't make it the year before, which means that some of these teams that are supposed to be really good just will not be. Look at Cincinnati last year. So, no, I mean, nothing really crazy. I think they nailed Christmas. They nailed Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They've nailed all these primetime games. I think for the most part, the way the schedule is laid out is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. They're looking at these games, the primetime games and holiday games, all that stuff. It's a very attractive schedule, man. They did a great job. There's no question about it. Did a great, phenomenal job.
The international games look great. Although Tupapa says, evening, gents. The international games are a problem along with Thursday night football. I'm not sure what Tupapa means by they're a problem.
Maybe because she has to watch. Maybe because she's watching at 4 a.m. That's all I can think of.
I don't know. I don't know where Tupapa's from.
That's all I could think of.
I mean, it creates more inventory. You got games starting at 9:30 a.m. You do X out the West Coast a little bit because it's 6:30 in the morning there. But no, I think the teams are getting more and more used to it. And I think, you look at the Vikings, they're going to play back-to-back games abroad. And I think if you're Minnesota, like, they had to sign off on this. Flying across all these time zones, the conditions on the field result in a poor NFL product. I don't really buy that. Like, for the Giants to go to London, it's a shorter trip than when they fly to Seattle. Just miles in the air. It's shorter. It's shorter going to London for an East Coast team than it is flying to Seattle.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of good
how about like when Miami has to fly to Seattle?
Oh boy,
You can't get deeper.
yeah. It's much further trip than flying to Europe. Hey, Pop. Speaking of Cincinnati, you know.
Oh, this guy, I didn't finish my Minnesota.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, my Minnesota thing is, I think it's an advantage for Minnesota. Right? So it's a home game for Pittsburgh. So this year, the AFC has the 17th game, meaning the extra home game. It alternates every year.
Yeah.
So, that's why you see the AFC teams hosting a lot of these international games. You're not giving up a home game. Pittsburgh's not giving up a home game in Pittsburgh per se. They're playing their 9th home game. But look at that. Look at this. It's for the Vikings. Would you rather go play the Steelers in Pittsburgh or play the Steelers in Ireland? And I know the Rooney family in Ireland and Croke Stadium and the whole thing with Pittsburgh, but you'd rather play them in Ireland. And they're going to then have been there for a week, and they're going to be acclimated because, everyone's saying, oh, they're going to be playing in 2 countries in 2 weeks. They're going from Ireland to England.
Not a far trip.
No. And the league handles all the logistics for all this stuff as far as the hotels and everything else. Mm-hmm. I think it gives the Vikings a break.
Sure. And the second game is against Cleveland, and then they go on their bye. So I think they're pretty happy, Bob, playing Pittsburgh over there than they are playing him in Pittsburgh. So it works out for the Vikings, no question about it.
And they clearly signed off on it. So you're going to ask me about Minnesota.
No, I was going to ask you about Cincinnati, Pop. I know they're like you a little bit of an adopted AFC team. I know how much you like Joe Burrow and the Bengals. We talk about them a lot on airing it out in the morning on Sirius XM. Trey Hendrickson. Now, Pop, we know last year the reason the Bengals did not make the postseason was because of their defense, and only because of their defense. They lost, and besides, they lost that opening game to New England. I really came back to bite them, and you know what. But, Bob, this Trey Hendrickson thing, it's getting a little ugly, right? These things happen. It
Absolutely.
Gets ugly. You hear Trey now coming out, and he's saying there's no communication. He's not happy. He wants to get paid like a premier edge rusher that he is. He led the league in sacks last season. Not only that, he was up there in TFLs, tackles for losses. The guy just doesn't get 17 sacks. You don't hear from him the rest of the game. He's an impact guy, and he's the only pass rusher on the Bengals' defensive side of the ball. Al Golden's coming in. He's got 1 pass rusher right now, 1. They drafted the number 1 kid, Shamar Stewart. Okay. But right now, it's just Trey. They have to get this done, Bob. I believe they will. But these things could get ugly before they get done. And right now, you see the way it's going, and it's getting a little ugly in Cincinnati. But, Bob, are you with me on this? To me, they better get this done. I know they paid their receivers, but they better get Trey Henderson signed and get him on the field. Because if they don't, they're going to have another year where they put up 30 a game, but they also give up 36, 37.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, I don't understand what the reasoning is for them stonewalling this guy. I mean, he's had 17 and a half sacks each of the last 2 years. I mean, it's not like it's a one-hit wonder, right?
No.
He's not just, oh, look out of nowhere. Here comes Trey Hendrickson. I mean, back-to-back years, 35 sacks total. I would think that you'd want to get a deal done.
They better get it done, Bob, because they cannot afford to not have this guy lined up for new coordinator Al Golden next year. They better get it done. Bob, you look at that roster, there's nobody else gets to the quarterback in that roster. Nobody else.
What'd you make of the Derek Carr retirement?
Well, Derek is a unique individual himself. Gets the shoulder shot. He decided that's it. So, kind of a surprise, right? I mean, there was reports, out there about he was going to miss the season. But there's always been going back and forth with Derek and the Saints about the contract the last few years. So I shouldn't say it wasn't really a surprise. You?
Well, I believe the guy. I don't think he lies. I mean, I think he's a deep faith human being. He spoke very from the heart about what he was dealing with as a family. Mm-hmm. And I just think that he feels that this injury is something that he can't really come back from to the level that he wants to come back from. And, you know, these guys have made a lot of money in their careers, even though he's going to give back, you know, a big chunk of money. You know, when they tell you got to give back $30 million that you got in some account somewhere and you don't blink that much to give it back, means you made a lot of money. Good for him. It's just a very interesting situation. They probably, I mean, they have the weakest quarterback room in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be interesting how they navigate that with a new head coach. However, you know, you also have to take into consideration that I'm sure they discussed this. I'm sure they kind of attacked the draft the way they did. And I'm sure that Kellen Moore knows that, hey, he's got some time, right? You know, winning the division this year is not going to be, I don't think, imperative for him because they may be looking for a quarterback next year in the draft.
Yeah, agreed. Tough situation for the new head coach. But look, it's Tyler Shuck is there. Spencer Rattler. And who is it? Herner? How do you say his name? What's the third string there?
Yeah, he's not good.
You know what I'm talking about. He's Hainer. Not. He played a little bit. Hainer, he played a little bit. So it'll be between Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler. Tough situation. Look, but Derek was hurt, and you see him with his family. He's putting videos up there already. He seems to be happy. Made his money pop. So good luck to him, man. Good luck to him.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season's in full swing. NBA, NHL playoffs. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action. Latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. Largest selection of odds on everything. MLB, NBA, UFC. BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. You go to the BetOnline casino, top Vegas-style games, poker, live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
I got a question for you. Okay.
Ask me a question. I'll give you an answer.
Chiefs.
How about them?
You have them as a surefire NFC West champion again? AFC West champion?
I think they're going to be challenged this year. I think they're going to be challenged.
Take a step back a little bit.
I think the division is just better. I think Denver's going to keep getting better. I think Pete Carroll, if you look at his track record, he gets things turned around. We know the Chargers have a good team. Quarterback's got to play better, but they made some moves in the offseason. I think the AFC West is going to be a much tougher fight for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not saying that they're not going to win the division, but I think that these teams are definitely on the rise. And you do not have a division that has more decorated coaches than the AFC West. It is hands down the most decorated division in all of football. End of story.
Remember last year, Bob, and I said, "Hey, watch the Rams. I think the Rams are going to win the NFC West." I said, "Watch these guys. They're gonna take."
Are you going to give me a watch these guys?
I'm going to give you a watch these guys. Jimmy Harbaugh, I think, wins the AFC West this year. Chiefs take a step back, slide into that wild card spot, and Harbaugh and the Chargers win the division. Early prediction from Chris Bizzick down to them, Pop.
May 14th, 2025. Biz taking the Chargers. We're going to hold you to it. I want to get into the Giants schedule, but first, listen, your Tutu just weighed in. Tutu. He's in Italy. Tutu, we're going to show you how to make an easy zucchini dish as an elegant appetizer. And we're going to show you the technique to make your gnocchi not heavy. So I took Biz to Bonito's in Union, New Jersey on Monday night. And Biz, let's kind of go through the evening, starting with making ourselves our first ever zucchini Carlo. Senor Bonito. Bonito, you ready to teach our fans on the Mangia cast what to do?
Absolutely.
And you're going to tell me how dumb I am with certain things.
No.
Biz, you're going to get your ass.
What
What are we making tonight, Bonito?
we're gonna make gnocchi. Gnocchi.
By the way, this gnocchi is the best gnocchi ever. Light, airy, not heavy. I never ate gnocchi until I ate this brand.
Thank you. We're gonna make zucchini,
Zucchini, little appetizer.
a little appetizer. We're gonna make the pappardelle bolognese with the meat sauce. We're gonna make penne rustica, which is with a tomato and pancetta and onion. And we're gonna make two different veals. One is veal capricciosa, which is made from veal chop, very thin. It's like a
One of my favorites, baby.
it's like a elephant knee, as they call it. And the other one is a scallopine with a dipped in Parmesan cheese, with the fresh artichokes, heart of artichokes, peas, white wine, lemon.
And for our audience, you're going to learn how to make this at home because these are simple techniques.
Very simple.
That you just must follow properly. Now, do I need gloves? Do I need an apron? What do I need? Or you're going to tell me how bad I am? You nervous?
No, I'm enjoying it. I just want to learn, man. I just want to learn.
Biz was dying to learn. I had to nudge you to get in there.
All right, Papa's putting the apron on.
Watch this.
Papa's now putting the apron on. It's game time.
It's showtime, baby. Bonito tying it on. Like a Mangia cast apron. A little too much pasta.
Football terms, it's game time. We're ready to kick off.
Suit me up.
Papa getting in the game, putting the helmet on.
Yellow scarf though. He's got the yellow scarf because he's the master chef. All
He's
right, so Bonito gave us a little rundown of what we were going to do. So, Lindsay's going to get the video up, and we're going to get the zucchini video up. The zucchini Carlo. It's very simple to make, and then Bonito's going to show us how to make the gnocchi. But that was just a warm up. We were like kids in a candy store in that kitchen.
Oh, I was, man. I was. At least I was. I learned. To me, it was fascinating, Bob. It really was. Just watching him go to work, like the quarterback. He's the QB1 back there, man. It was.
Yeah, he's got a staff, and he's a ta 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 ta
Yeah,
ta.
he loved that ta ta ta. Yeah.
He loves the ta ta ta. So we're going to show you how to make the zucchini Carlo, and we're going to show you how to make the gnocchi with something that Bonito taught me that I'm going to now use moving forward.
At the bar. Now it's time to go to work.
Let's get to work.
There we
Now
go.
we're gonna go see where the magic happens. You ready to learn something?
Here we are, where it all happens. Say hello to Senor Bonito. Bonito, you ready to teach our fans on the Mangia cast what to do?
Absolutely.
All right, so what we're going to make now is a nice Bonito staple appetizer. So what is this called?
Zucchini Carlo.
Zucchini Carlo. You can use a mandolin, right?
You can use mandolin or you can cut it.
Or if you're a professional chef like Bonito, you can use your fingers. But what's the thick?
The thickness is gonna be like a quarter of an inch. It's gonna be. That's it.
Ta ta ta. All right, so now you're just drizzling it with a little flour.
Very, like a flake, almost. Like a flake.
Just got to make sure they're all separated, right?
Now, what are you using? Cast iron?
You can't sign it.
Okay.
But you have to use a vegetable oil, either corn oil,
Canola.
canola,
Vegetable.
peanut oil.
Okay.
This one is not. It's a corn oil, I think. Look at that.
Now the peanut oil you could do too.
Mm.
Look at Lindsay; she's got it going full speed.
Gotta move around, right? So they're almost done.
It takes a little time.
Yeah, anything that's good takes time.
Yeah, it's not a shortcut.
Gotta move them around. Gotta brown up.
All right.
Doesn't let him sit in the oil. I never knew this trick. The little shallot.
Yeah, the shallot. I told my wife about that. She was surprised by that too. How good was that though, Pop? How good was this finished product?
Papa wants to know if he's using olive oil. No, he told us to make this dish, you don't use olive oil. You use peanut oil, vegetable oil, or an olive oil, 25% to vegetable oil, 75% in the cast iron, or else you'll burn them. Because the olive oil in a frying situation has a too high a burn point. Now, Biz, you got to get this in your house. You got to get the olive oil and basil that he drizzled it with.
Parsley.
This is not hard to make, Pop.
wanna see your face.
Even for an idiot like me.
No, this is
I know.
anybody.
And this was
every
insane,
one of our
right?
every one of our listeners can and viewers could make this.
Oh my God. Bonito.
It's very simple, right?
We got almost 1,000 people watching, so thank you everybody for watching. That I mean, that was insane.
Oh, look at this.
So
Tutu says it's 3:15 a.m. in Italy right now, and we're all glued to our big screen to watch.
Paisan, thank you. We got almost 1,000 people watching. Thank you, Tuto, over there watching. All the friends, love you, buddy.
Now, do you want to get into the? Yeah, do you want to get into the Giants?
Just one
schedule?
quick thing, Pop. So
Yeah.
the next morning, my wife wakes up, sees the trays in the refrigerator what I brought home. She immediately opens them all up and thinks zucchini is going to be in one of them. So she goes to work. She texts me, "Where the hell is my zucchini?" And I blamed you. I said, "Well, I had a little bit." I said, "But freaking Papa wiped it out. I don't know what to tell you." You know. So she goes, "Well, you better take me to that damn place because I want that zucchini." And
Well, don't, you have a cast iron pan in your house, right?
yeah, but Pop, I'm gonna go over there, let Bonito do it. You know, before I start whipping up stuff, or she whips up stuff. You know, I mean, if she sees Bonito, I said, "Well, I'm gonna take you there. You know, I'll make it for you night there. Boom, right out of the back. Go to town on it,
All right, so go to town on it. We're going to show everybody how to
like
make
you
the
did,
gnocchi.
basically, like you did."
We're gonna show everybody how to make the gnocchi. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show everybody how to make the gnocchi.
Yeah, what are we gonna
And
do?
then,
Go ahead.
and then after that, we'll talk about the Giants schedule to close out the show.
You got it,
Capiche?
my man.
All right,
Yeah.
Lindsay. Let's.
The
So
game
there's
changer
a
right here.
You wash it.
Gnocchi is like, this is a game changer right here.
You wash it. Cold water, never hot.
Cold water, never hot.
You put a little salt.
Little salt. Put the gnocchi together. You believe the potatoes should be cold. They say
Very
warm.
Very cold.
So it's got to be rice hot, but done cold.
You can put them in the refrigerator overnight. You can put that, it dries out.
We're only using 2 potatoes.
See, I never knew that, Biz. In most of these recipes I've
You
seen,
gotta
they
let
say
them air dry out, and then you refrigerate.
You refrigerate.
How about the no garlic too?
yeah. So it's just interesting because all these other recipes say that you do it warm. Now I like this nutmeg that he put in the
If you're
potato.
watching at home, that was maybe a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. So would you say that that was maybe a quarter of a cup? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Exactly.
Maybe. All we need is 1 yolk.
Yeah. Flour here.
So really, he just used 2 potatoes, 1 egg yolk,
Mhm.
very little bit of
Yeah.
flour, some nutmeg in there, which I thought was interesting. And the potatoes are cold when he mixes them with the rice and the egg.
Bonito knows.
You got it.
Fellow Italian. Get ready to say I got it.
You got
Biz.
it. Man. It's very important. The gnocchi,
Biz,
when you put
rolling
it in
the
water,
gnocchi.
first of all,
I look like a natural
simmer.
back there.
The water simmer. Nothing more than simmer.
Okay.
Second
You know, Benito gave me the thumbs up too.
Rice.
Right, when it comes to the top,
Yeah,
they're done.
that means the flour is cooked.
All right, gnocchi's ready. They floated to the top.
You gotta go gently. This is very, very delicate.
Hungry
You're
again.
coating it lightly. You reduce the tomato sauce. You take a little bit of butter.
Shut the flame out.
A little pecorino romano.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to make. 2 potatoes. He boiled them.
Ta, ta, ta.
You can.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. And this was the best part of the night.
Acousticas.
Look at Biz shoveling.
Yeah.
It's nice when you
Everybody-
make it yourself.
What was
All
that?
right, so Two Papa just asked a question here, and he said, "So you boil the potatoes, let them cool?" No, you boil the potatoes, the 2 potatoes, or you can bake them. Poke holes in them, put them in the oven, bake them. Then when you peel the skin off, when they're hot/warm, that's when you put them through the ricer. But before you put them in the refrigerator, you want the steam to come out. So you have the warm potato that you put through the ricer, you spread it out on the sheet, and then you let the steam come out before you put them in the refrigerator. Then you can put them in the refrigerator and prepare it either later that day, that evening, or the next day cold. But when you put them through the ricer, they have to be warm, but you do not put them immediately into the fridge. You want some of that moisture to come out of them. Dries them out a little bit, which then with the flour, the egg yolk, that nutmeg, and a little bit of salt, then you got your dough. And how easy was it to do it?
Yep. And it was out of this world.
Oh,
Out of this world.
phenomenal. And not heavy. It did not feel
No.
like you ate lead sinkers.
Nope.
So Bonito is the official chef of the Mangia cast. Thank you, Senor Bonito. We're going to show the veal dishes. We're going to show some of the other pasta dishes. The bolognese knocked your socks off. No garlic in it either.
Nope. Surprise. Were you surprised with that, Pop?
No, but he did say that you can infuse the olive oil, like in a lot of the cooking in Italy. They'll take the olive oil, heat it up, and they'll put 1 or 2 cloves whole in and let the garlic flavor infuse. And then when they start their cooking process of whatever else they're going to put in there, they'll fish out the 2 cloves of garlic, but they let the garlic infuse into the oil to get a garlic flavor, but to not have a pungent garlic flavor.
But he didn't do that. He didn't do that.
No,
night.
he said you
yeah.
can do it though. He
He
said you
said
can
you could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, with
But
the
I was just
bolognese.
surprised it wasn't automatic, Pop. That he didn't automatic.
No, he didn't use a ton of garlic. He's from
He
the
didn't-
northern part of Italy
Well, this
too.
is northern Italy, right?
And
So
he
somebody
said,
asked me that. I was talking to somebody about, what do you mean no garlic? I said, well, don't forget, he's from northern Italy. Everybody's used to the southern, the Sicily, and all that stuff. We load everything with garlic.
well, no, American
So-
Sicilians and Neapolitans load it with garlic, but
Loaded with garlic.
even in Italy, they don't load it. They infuse it. They use garlic, not to the level of
Well, over
Like,
here,
it's
like you'll have a
Americanized.
meatball loaded with garlic. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everything's Americanized. It's what people did. They change it as they come here and they use more garlic or whatever. All right. So that's tonight's cooking class, Cooking with Bonito. And again, thank you to Senor Bonito, Donnie,
Thank you.
Laura, the whole
you.
family, the staff, the kitchen. Woo!
Yep.
And again, the cleanest kitchen ever. So let's talk about this Giant schedule for a couple minutes here. 2 division games on the road. Whoa. Right out of the gate.
I don't remember the last time you could say that.
What's interesting too about both of these games?
Go ahead.
I'm telling you, Tuto just said the whole team's starving at 4 a.m. watching the Mangia cast. One day I'll cook. One day, Tutu, I hope to cook for your team. One day I'd love to make a meal for your team. I think they'd enjoy it. 2 division games to start the year. It's so weird to me that both games are 1 o'clock. Like the Giants and Cowboys are going to be 1 o'clock. The Giants Commanders week 1 are 1 o'clock. It just seems odd, right? Because that's when the most games are played, 1 o'clock. I can't remember the last time the Giants and Cowboys played a 1 o'clock game.
I know.
Normally it's the 4:25 window at least.
The 1 o'clock was a big surprise to me, man. I couldn't believe that. I really couldn't. Very odd.
Then the home opener is the Chiefs, Sunday Night Football.
Then you got Jimmy Harbaugh coming in a week later.
Then you get a little breather because you get to play the Saints. Right? I mean, the Saints are in the Giants weight class. Come on. I mean, we just talked about their quarterbacks.
Yep.
The
Hey,
Giants,
look, Bob, you read Twitter today, X today, and oh my God, Washington, Dallas, 0-2, 0-2. I'm not going with that, Pop. This is a Giant team last year with Daniel Jones. Should have beat Washington down there last year. Okay? A fumble away by Singletary. They had no kicker, right? Now it's the first game of the year. And, Bob, I say this every damn year. The first game of the year, you can throw it out the window. You don't know what you're going to get the first game of the year. I think Cincinnati, New England was a prime example of that last season. Okay? First game of the year, actually the first two, but especially that first game. Good luck what you're going to get from these teams. Good luck. And you try to tell me, if you read X today, you would think that Giants have absolutely no chance to win these first 2 games. Are you kidding me?
yeah, I mean, they're going to be underdogs in both games, sure. But
Sure. We know that.
I have no idea what kind of head coach Schottenheimer is. We don't know. We don't know. Then, obviously, you got to play the Chiefs in prime time. We know how good the Giants are in primetime games. So it's been a nightmare. And then, as you mentioned, the Chargers. And then they play at the Saints. And I know New Orleans has been a house of horrors over the years, but come on, Drew Brees ain't walking through that door. With what the Giants have put together defensively, and if Russell Wilson still is a competent quarterback, which I believe he is, and Malik Neighbors is healthy or whatever, I mean, why can't the Giants go win in New Orleans? But then you got a short week at home against the Eagles. Then you got to go to Denver. And then you got to come home and go to Philadelphia. Mangia.
It's a tough schedule.
Then the Niners. But again, on paper it's tough. We don't know. We don't know who's going to be injured when you play them.
Oh, absolutely.
Who's having a bad year? I thought the Patriots game was going to be an early season Thursday night game. It's a Monday night game on December the 1st. Which
was a little surprising to me, too. You had a 3-win team and a 4-win team Monday night in December. But they could flex out of that, right, Pop? Can't they flex out of these Monday night games?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that was a surprise. Late in the season, December 1st. But then they go, the Giants get a late bye this year, which I'm sure they're not.
No, they're not happy about that.
I was going to say, I'm sure they're not that thrilled about
there's
that.
There's no team in the NFL that would be happy with when the Giants have their bye. It's week 14.
Right.
Week 14. You've played 13 games before you get to your bye. Now, you could say, ooh, that gives them some, given that much-needed break for the stretch run, which is home against Washington, home against Minnesota, at the Raiders, and then home against the Cowboys. So you got 3 home games out of your last 4.
Yeah, most teams like that bye around the 8-game mark, 9-week mark, sort of like that, which the Giants have had the last few years, but this year it's late, and I'm sure they're not thrilled about that. And so it's a very, very difficult schedule right now on May 14th. It's going to be a big challenge for Brian Dable and his staff, and we'll see. But like you said, Bob, we don't know week to week what these teams are going to look like. You don't know. It all depends on when you play them in this league, right? When you play them. The Giants could play Washington week 1 Okay, Washington could look like a different team by week 4. You got a
Right,
brand
if
new
you're
coach in
6
Dallas.
Yeah, I was going to say if you're 6
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say if you're 6-7 coming out of your bye, or maybe 7-6 or 6-7, or even if you're 5-8 coming out of your bye, with those 4 games that you got there, you're going to be in the mix. You're going to have a chance to maybe get a wild card spot. You're either going to have to win 3 of the last 4. I don't think 2-2 will get it done, but I think every Giant fan would sign up for that.
And that's what Giant fans want, Bob. Meaningful football, right? Meaningful football after Thanksgiving. I think Giant fans are pretty fed up with having their turkey Thanksgiving Day, talking with their family members saying, yeah, our season's finished.
Your boy Jerry Foley weighed in. Philly twice in 3 weeks is absurd. Didn't they have that a couple
Years ago? They had that at the end of the year.
No, they had it with Washington. Remember they played Washington? Washington had a bye, and Washington's next game off the bye was against the Giants.
Yes.
In 22.
A couple years ago. Yeah. Yep.
And the Giants had a tough game in between the 2 Washington games.
Yep.
I think the Giants. Hey, listen, you deal with it, you handle it, right?
Yeah. This is the NFL, buddy.
It's
the NFL.
We got it. We got to get Jerry Foley over to Bonito's.
Oh, he'll like that. He's a big restaurant guy. He'll like that.
He's gonna like it. All right, you got anything else?
Any surprise division winners for you on May 14? You're eyeing up right now, saying, you know what, I'm going to keep an eye on these guys. I think they could win this division this year. That's not expected to. Have you looked through it yet a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think the NFC East is up for grabs. Just based on the history, you don't really get back-to-back winners. Washington is on the come. I wouldn't rule out Dallas at this point either. So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a team in the AFC South that takes down the Texans. I mean,
really? Who would that be? I can't see Indianapolis, Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think that division's a little bit of a toss-up.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think Houston is the front runner, but I could see one of those teams getting better. I mean, you picked the Chargers as an upset win in the AFC West. I have no faith in Arizona. I don't really have that much faith in Seattle, but I do have faith in the Rams and the Niners as the 2 teams there that are going to battle it out. I mean, if Michael Penix proves to be what people think he is, then they give Tampa a run. I don't see how New Orleans competes, and I don't think Carolina's ready to compete.
No.
Jeff wants to know, I'll answer Jeff's question. How does a 3-4 team draw the most difficult schedule?
Could
Jeff,
you please answer this, Pop, please, because I'm sick of answering this question.
Jeff, if you go to Giants Online, Giants.com, you can look at their future opponents for the next 6 years. It's a rotation. It just so happens this year they play the AFC West and
NFC North.
they play the NFC North. They have good teams. And they're in a division with the defending Super Bowl champs that had a really good record last year, and Washington. There's only 3 games that they play that are a function of their record from the year before. It is their AFC 17th game opponent. So this year, right, the Giants are playing the Patriots because both teams finished last. This year, the AFC East and the NFC East play each other for the 17th game, and the AFC is home for all the extra games this year, the 9th home game. So the Giants are playing the worst. That's why Philly is playing Buffalo, because they finished first. So, and so on and so forth. Then because the Giants are playing the NFC North, there's two other divisions in the NFC, and you play the team that finished in the same place as you, which is why the Giants are playing the Saints because they finished last, and the Giants are playing the 49ers because they finished last.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it.
The rest of it is you just happen to be your own division is good. You're playing the NFC North that had two teams in it last year that had double-digit wins. And you had the Packers, 14, and you had the
14.
Packers.
Yeah.
And you're playing the AFC West that has the AFC champions in them. And you got the Chargers that were a playoff team. So, and you have Denver that was a playoff team.
And now you got a Vegas team with Pete Carroll, Hall of Famer.
Right. So it's just you can find out who the Giants are. Go to Giants.com and look at future opponents, and you can look up 14 of the 17 games that the Giants are going to play through 2030. It's a set rotation.
I know. I try to explain that it's not the league doesn't have a vendetta against the Giants. It's very simple. It's a set schedule every year. What divisions the Giants are playing.
Correct.
Or any of your favorite team. Whatever your favorite team is, it's set. Got to go, my man.
Chin chin. I wish I had something to chin chin, but I'm in a hotel room in Birmingham. We got.
I know you in Birmingham, Alabama. Yep.
First major of the year for the PGA Tour champions.
Yep. Enjoy, Papa. Enjoy.
Thank you, Senor Bonito. Please go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. We'll be back down the road. We might have some scheduling issues next week, but we're going to teach you how to make some more dishes. Once I get back home from all this travel, I'll start cooking again. I got to redo the carbonara because we did carbonara with Sims before we were part of the Believe Podcast Network. So I'm going to whip up a carbonara for everybody.
That sounds good, bud.
Mangia.
Yep. Enjoy the rest. See you.
Go buy your Chin Chin Mangia Cast glasses too.
Yep. Go get them, everybody.